So starting the test drive in this Grenadier here, I did figure out what this red button meant, and it's exactly what I thought it was. It's to honk at bicycles that might be in your way, give them a little toot. And that's hilarious. You can tell this thing was from Europe just because that's something I would expect. I used to watch a bunch of old European like crime shows, you know, kind of like Murder, She Wrote, except for Europe. And you'd always see people passing these bikes, giving them little toots like that in older cars. And I think it's funny that they put that in here. And then you have this really aggressive loud horn still where you can just actually honk at somebody. But right off the bat, I can tell just how off-road oriented this thing is. I took it in this puddle. We had some flash flooding last night, and I kind of took it through where it flooded a little bit, and it handled it like it was nothing. And I wasn't even concerned, really, taking it in there, just because this thing feels so rugged, it feels so strong. And that's exactly what it is. And that's why these things run close to 100 grand, because it feels more capable than a new Land Rover Defender. It feels more capable than a stock Jeep. I feel like I can take this thing anywhere. So I'm very impressed with just how rugged this thing feels, just all in all. The steering feels very Jeep, Bronco-like, even Hummer-like, just in terms of how maneuverable it is, how the turning radius is, and I really like that about this. Now, in terms of how the powertrain feels, of course, with this being as boxy as it is, again, with it being an off-road oriented vehicle, it has the same powertrain as, let's say, a stock BMW SUV, but it doesn't feel as quick. But it does get up to speed. And I'm going to give it a little pull here getting on the interstate. And here we go. So a very, very quick SUV, I will say that. It doesn't feel as sporty or as fast as, again, let's say a BMW X5 with this powertrain, but it is quick. It really is. Now we do have the lane departure here. We don't have full-on lane centering, but it does let you know when you're out of the lines. Just standard cruise control, which is what you would expect with something like this. Now, you might be able to option it out and get even more features in terms of having driving assistance, but for what this is not something you're gonna probably take a huge road trip in unless you're gonna drive it to a trail or something. But if you got that kind of money, you can figure it out, whether you got to tow it or have somebody transport it for you. But wind noise in here actually isn't terrible. Again, with just how this is made, that's not really going to be an issue. You kind of want to feel the outdoors. That's what these are made for, just for an outdoor enthusiast, someone who likes to take trails, go off-road, things of that nature, even go camping. And there's the auto stop again. The auto stop does pretty well here. Now this is it's pretty quick off the line, just having the turbocharged inline six. It's very easy to drive this around town. It does feel a bit cumbersome, you know, just like a Ford Bronco would feel, a Jeep Wrangler would feel. It has the turning feel, the overall steering feel of a G-Wagon, but it's not as smooth as a G-Wagon, but I wouldn't expect that. I feel like this is more off-road oriented than a G-Wagon would be. And people that get these are probably not going to be driving them around town to go grocery shopping, like people that get these will literally probably be taking them to do what they're designed to do. That's just an assumption, of course. Now, for the price point, I do think this is expensive, but again, for what you get something that's meant to be taken off-road. This is a specialty vehicle. This isn't something you're just gonna get just for a daily driver. You're gonna have the money to spend on this. You're gonna use it for what it's intended to be used for. And then if you do need to take it out to go to the store or whatever, or even to tow, you have that capability as well. And in terms of the looks, it's an acquired taste, I think. It's not the prettiest, but if you like the old style Land Rover Defenders, then you'll appreciate this. It feels like an off-road, old school SUV. I really just want to call it a retro SUV, but you have like a modern flair to it in terms of the interior. It looks retro, but all of your technology is still in there. You have heated seats, you have your automatic climate controls. And then in terms of just the overall off-road capability, it can still take on the trail even though you have a turbocharged inline 6 with an 8-speed automatic. So all in all, I think a pretty good SUV. Again, if you're just about that life on going off-roading and really just taking nature by the horns, if you will, just whether you're wading water, climbing mountains, or whatever, this is the SUV for you. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the 2024 Ineos Grenadier.